Hello everyone, welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. Today I'm asking for your guys' advice because I am not that familiar with Eurocorps. It's not something I've played on any sort of public match until this past week, in a couple of years actually, and well, things have changed since I originally saw it, and I mean, I didn't even play that much back then, so not really the best take on things. This is my best guess at a Eurocorps deck, and just piece by piece we have the Infantry 32 Reservists, Legion 90 and Vabs, Panzergrenadier and Martyr 2s, Fallschirmjäger and Volksmilons, Milan 2s, and Volksmilons, and I don't know, it might be a little bit heavy on the Volksmilons, but I thought with decent veterancy, these guys might be able to achieve something good, I hope. So the thing that really I have the hardest time with this deck is the support tab. So the Aulnois I thought would be a relatively cheap option, decent range against helicopters for what it is, and just it would satisfy that need to have a gun in this. Because my other two choices are Rolands and Crotals, and frankly, from the couple of games I've played as Eurocorps, I use the Rolands, and I don't often use the Crotals unless it's in sort of a response to a lot of helicopters operating in a certain position. I don't know if that's good or bad. I thought the Rolands are a bit more robust against planes, and I mean, honestly, two of these relatively spaced out and decent veterancy, and they take down planes like nobody's business. I was pretty impressed. But I don't know, I mean, other options instead of the Aulnois would be something like the Gepard, and it just starts getting very expensive, and then I don't have a comprehensive net, while as in the Aulnois I can kind of just send out and say, hey, this is just going to be a little bit of a, not quite base defense type thing, but certainly just a gun defense for that position. So if you guys have suggestions for the support tab, I am, of course, all ears. The second thing, so tanks, RCSBs, Leopard 2A4s, Leclercs. I know the 2A4 is a little bit in the middle, I guess, on performance, but I didn't want to take two of the super heavies, although, frankly, I'm thinking about it now, because I don't know, the 2A4s, the 2A5s are that much more worth it. But always happy to feedback. I like the Keeler in theory, but I can never make it work in practice. Even when I'm playing, West Germany, it just doesn't really seem to work out that well for me. Other than that, the Recon tab, I'd like to have more Commandos Para, but I needed the availability for it, and looking back here, there's only a couple ways to get that. One of them is getting rid of something from the support tab. I don't really want to remove anything from the infantry tab because I have a lot of reservists, but my Panzergrenadier 90 and my Legion 90 are relatively scarce, Fallschirmjäger are relatively scarce. I don't want to take anything out there, and I don't want to remove the ATGMs. So where do I really get these 3 activation points from? And it could be from the vehicle tab. The Jaguar 2 is a little bit goofy, maybe. I'm not really sure if he's necessary. I mean, the Volksmilons would kind of do this job, but the Jaguar 2 does it much better. And 5-second, I think this means it fires, 4 times before it has to do that whole reload tick sort of thing? So I'm not really sure, but if I get rid of that, I still need 1 more point, and then it comes out of, I don't know, helicopters, right? Like, I don't want to get rid of a helicopter here. The Hap and the Hat are both very good, and I know you could take the Celtic instead of the Hap. The reason I took the Hap is just because for 30 points you get double the helicopter strength and snaps. And I'm not usually that much of a helicopter-heavy sort of player, so I don't know, that seemed worth it to me. And then what I don't want to do is I don't want to get rid of my 15-point base defense, because that gives me the 3 activation points, but then base defense I'm reliant on the Aulnois, and that's 35 points instead of 15, so I get less spread, and I'm potentially even just overpaying for something that'll never get used. So I can't put as broad of a net out either for as few points, because, I don't know, this would get it done, right? So I could do Commandos Para, we could even take them in more Vab T2013s, which I would love to have these guys available during the match. I've run out in both the games that I've played. But, I think I'm going to try this for now. It might be stupid, but all ears for feedback for that. And the plane tab is mostly defensive, Tornado ECR to tamp down on enemy radar AA, KWSs, Rafales, and this is just a sort of stay out sort of thing, because I guess my goal with this deck is to be fast and aggressive on the ground, and then still have reservists and Martyr 2s and everything that I need to grind an advantage forward as the game goes on. So I want my points on the ground. I don't want tons of bombers in the air, but I also don't want to get bombed. And with just the Roland 3s, it's no Patriot, it's not even a Hawk Pip 3 kind of thing. I thought I would need a little bit of extra oomph in the air to maintain that air superiority. Then I follow that up with double Peace Shrine because, frankly, these guys I think are always good. They're not my favorite ATGM plane, just because of the 2 Mavericks instead of 4. I tend to like the Peace Pheasant too. For that reason, it carries 4 instead of 2, and you can sort of line up 2 different volleys in the same run. But it's very effective, and the veterancy to it hardened is kind of nice. So, well, anyway, this is what I've got for Eurocorps. Please let me know what you think. I'm all ears because I want to get into this. I think people like this coalition, and I'd like to feature it on the channel, but I'm just a little bit inexperienced at the moment. So, thank you guys for hanging around. We'll see you again real soon.